Holy crud. I had both of them
What?
going. I was like, why am I still hearing music? Oh, wait, I forgot to mute the one over here at the YouTube side.
Oh, wait a minute. So did I. Hold on. Woo! Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
There
This
we
is starting
go.
off
It's done.
good. This is
Lord.
starting off good today. I'm
You
gonna
know,
sit
I
here
have
and
to say, I'm not feeling all that great today. My eyes keep watering and everything. I went out with my friends last night for a birthday party, which was okay. That's not a big deal. But the farmers
yeah.
have been tearing up these fields in between the storms. And
Ooh.
oh my gosh. And then we're having storms today with the wind, and it's just blowing
Yeah.
that dirt everywhere now. And I'm like, I can't
You're like,
breathe.
I want to go to bed. I want to go to bed.
I do. I
Well,
want to go to
I
bed.
was gonna say it was just your allergies, but there's another reason why people like to cry sometimes, and usually it's this guy right here. He didn't know I was gonna bring his butt up there, did he? Hey,
Well,
you
I
stick
just,
around, you get abused.
that's right. That's right. And I just want to
Hopefully by
say,
you two.
right, right. But here we are, people, one
Yep,
day before the total eclipse.
that's
Um,
it.
Ooh.
woo! My little town is right dead center of the path. I've said this before in other shows. Uh, the people are here. They're here.
Oh yeah,
They're having a big celebration in town. Like they had fireworks Friday night. They had stuff going on downtown all day yesterday. We had
yep.
Night Ranger. Night Ranger came in
Oh,
concert
Night
last
Ranger
night.
played.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Tonight we have Jeff Foxworthy come in. Um, it's just like wow. You know,
Yeah,
this town's
yeah.
going all out. You know, it's just wow.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, we're of course. I literally you saw me. I got here 5 minutes before the show. We've been laying our floor in our bedroom all day, and we thought, oh, it's gonna be simple, nothing to it. We just do it real quick, like, and we stopped. We did good early on. We stopped. We had dinner and lunch, everything. And, oh, we'll knock this out in an hour, hour and a half. 2.5 hours later, we're like, man, we didn't think about that, but we're almost done.
Well, I
My
don't know
wife's
what you
in
were
there.
trying.
She's
I don't know what you were trying to do, but lay it on the floor in the bedroom is not going to get a whole lot done.
No.
well, my back kind of hurt for a little bit, and
Right
it
over your
helped
head.
to be on it. What?
Right over your head.
No, I know exactly what it is. But my back was hurting. I needed help, and nobody was there to help me.
You
Right.
don't ask for help, Randy.
Huh?
You don't ask for help.
I've never asked for help.
There's two
I
of
just
us
get
right down
told.
the road.
Well, this is a me and my wife thing. So we're working on trying to not have a divorce after it's all said and done. So yeah, we're doing good.
Tex,
But
he'll be calling you tomorrow.
hey, I need a place to stay.
Hey, call Bobby. He's closer.
He don't ever answer the phone.
He's one of those people you got to text. For some reason, he don't answer the phone, but you text him, he'll answer you. I don't get that, people. What's up with that?
What?
I
I
thought
don't
it
know
was
if
a
y'all hear that.
generational thing, but no.
I don't know if y'all hear it, but that's the rotary tool in there cutting vinyl floor right now. So, I'm in the other room in the closet in my closet as usual. So, but anyway, we got what do we? I'll let Brandy go ahead and do her more early show
Spiel?
spiel. Yeah,
The,
that thing.
the, the spiel?
I almost
Yeah,
said early morning spiel, but not that. So,
it kind of feels like early morning.
Yeah.
Well, of course, at 7 p.m. on Monday nights, that is Central Time, it's Danielle Diva Dimension. And at 8 o'clock, it's Texas Front Porch with Tex and myself. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central, it is Beyond BMR with Bigfoot Michigan Rob and his co host Krista. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m., it's Donnie Cho Says Stuff. And at 8 p.m., it's Inhumanoids with Barton Nunley and his wife Letitia. Thursday afternoons at 12 p.m. Central, it's Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. 7 p.m. Central on Thursdays, it's Our Paranormal World. It's our new show on our I guess it's on Texas Front Porch. It's part of the group, and here we go. It's Monica Rollins, and she's starting off with a bang. She's getting great views, and we're having wonderful conversations. So make sure you tune into that. At 8 p.m. on Thursday evenings, it's Blondes and Booze with myself and Krista, and Josh Turner is seemingly becoming our new co-host on Thursdays. On
Seems like
Fridays
it.
at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, it's Blondes and Booze again. Saturday, we don't have anything going right now, but I've saw that Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Krista have been doing some late night shows, so you might want to,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, keep your
And that's cool.
notifications on because you never know.
Yeah.
You
You
never
never can
know.
tell.
Right. And then on Sundays at 5 p.m. Central, of course, it's us with Truth or Tinfoil with our special guest tonight, Tex. And at 6 p.m. Central, Tex will be going on with his next episode of Infamous Minds with Danielle Diva. Is she coming on tonight? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rock on.
So there you go. I know because you have guests on and she comes on. Sometimes you're doing it by yourself. It's a toss up what's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we
definitely.
try to keep it spicy.
Yeah, spicy. I like it.
Yeah, today we're actually going to talk about Randy Kraft, which is
Oh yeah. That's a good one actually.
that was a deranged old boy.
Yes.
Several names: the scorecard killer, the uh, highway killer, the
Hmm.
Southern California strangler. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But he's got they're saying about 65 victims.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know it was that much. I knew he was up there, but I didn't know he was that many.
well, they
Uh,
convicted him for 16,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah.
That's probably what I'm thinking
You,
about
you
then.
know, and speaking about that, not to get off subject, because I know this is truth or tinfoil, but I did hear a disturbing story last night.
Oh,
Disturbing.
okay.
One of my friends came into town for the birthday party, and we were sitting there talking. I hadn't seen her in about a year and a half, and we got discussing about all the stuff that I do and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And she had told me that when she was a little girl in the house that she grew up in, she had a next door neighbor. Well, the next door neighbor was a female, and she wasn't quite right. She had to be taken care of to a certain extent.
right.
So the older sister, would come by weekly, get her groceries, make sure she has everything she needs, check on to make sure that everything in the house is working properly and that she didn't need anything else. Apparently, one day, the sister came and dropped off the groceries, and she decided that she was going to kill her sister with an axe. And over the next 3 days, she little by little was just cutting her up until they found her.
Whoa.
That'll do it every time.
Isn't that disturbing?
She was off the deep end there, it sounds a little bit like, huh?
I know. And I had never known that until I sat down. It's amazing when you sit down with people and you start talking about all this weird stuff and what comes out, and you'll be amazed of what you're hearing. And I heard
Yeah.
that and I thought, so I'm going to look into that a little bit deeper and see if I can't find out exactly what actually went on because we're talking about 30 something years ago. So
Right.
I'm going to
Cool.
find that story. Hmm.
All right. Okay, so like I said, I've been laying floor the majority of the day. So, and between that and yesterday, old friend of mine is packing up and moving to Oklahoma this week. Tomorrow, they're probably out of their house. They had to be out by the day. They close on Thursday.
Hmm.
But we had a little get together last night as well. So,
Mm.
yeah, I wasn't. exactly moving very good this morning. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't moving really good. But once I got started doing this flooring, I'm like, I ain't stopping. We got to keep going. Get our room done at least. And after this is done, I'm going in there. We're going to start putting all the furniture back where it goes. So, but uh, I did go out and I did some quick running around and looking at some stuff. And I remember some old pictures. And like I said, my daughter Abigail, who's out there, and you got Danny. That Daniela Silva is her roommate in Brighton, England, and they about 2 years ago or so, maybe 3 years ago now. No, it was two. It's 2022. She was doing a semester abroad in Brighton as well, from the University of Texas. When she got done, my whole family went over to get her. What did they do? They toured everything. They went to Stonehenge. They went to this. They went to that. And then they sent me a video on Facebook of them riding on a boat on Loch Ness. Gee, just kick me in the bucket list, why don't you? Okay.
Oh man.
Well, you know what? That's how you do it. That's how
Yeah.
you do it. I'm sorry, Randy. You should have went.
Somebody has to work and keep them in money. So,
You had to pay for the trip. Yeah.
yeah,
That's what vacations are for.
pretty
I
much.
mean, come on.
But anyway,
Randy doesn't
so
know
I
what
went
a
out.
vacation is.
And if I'm going on vacation, we going fishing. All right, that's all there is to it. But
Fishing in Loch Ness. Come on.
Hey, look.
ain't any fish I won't catch.
Aggie
They
Joy
probably
says,
charge me to
Aggie Joy
do it.
says, how about you come over? I've got my passport. Don't tempt me with a good time. Just saying.
See, and Abby knows you'll take her up on it too. She's been on an investigation with you before, and she's right there. You'd have to run AWOL prevention because I may never come back.
That's
But
not a
anyway,
bad idea.
so as
Okay.
I'm out there looking around, I found a bunch of the older pictures and stuff from Loch Ness. The more controversial, not the surgeon's photo. Everybody's already been over that. We already know it's
Right.
bad.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is one of the first ones I grabbed. Okay, now this one, and I'm gonna zoom in here real quick. Let me bring it up on my side over here. You zoom in. This was a photo from, I believe this one was 1972. Let me find my little write up real quick. No, I take that back. This one was from 75.
Okay.
This was June 20th, 1975. American lawyer named Robert Rhines. They call him Dr. Robert Rhines in other areas, but he's an American lawyer. And in 75, they captured this image that looks like a plesiosaur. I mean, you looking at it, it looks like a plesiosaur. Now, there's been people that have tried to debunk it as floating wood or rotting wood or silt or whatever, and it could be. Don't get me wrong; it's too grainy, obviously, but it's still one of the better. How can I put it? One of the better pictures that you're going to get from that dark and that deep.
Right.
So, now, personal opinion, I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you what it's not. And it is, to me, looking at it, it is not a floating piece of an old log.
I don't think so.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, an old log is either going to go to the top and float, or it's going to get waterlogged and it's going to go to the bottom and then decay. It isn't going to go in midstream unless it's got some sort of vegetation on it. So, what do you think?
Well, I disagree with what you just said.
Okay.
A waterlogged log
Mm-hmm.
will float at very depths.
Okay.
That's the reason people lose lower ends of their motor, that type of thing. They fall, they hit one, that type of thing. It just depends on the buoyancy level and
the type of wood too.
Yeah, there's all kinds of variables there.
Yeah.
So is it possible? Yeah, it's possible.
Oh, yeah.
It could be.
Don't get me wrong, it is possible.
It's possible, and if we're looking at it, if the picture is taken if it's say it's supposed to be floating or whatever like that, vertical,
Yep.
almost vertical.
Yep.
That's possible too. We could be looking at a trunk with a partial trunk with a root ball attached.
Root structure. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well too. With these
Yeah.
down here, kind of give you that idea of, hey, this could be what's left of the roots down here. But when you're sitting there thinking about it, some of that stuff, should already been floated away. The roots should have been the first thing that decayed off.
No, but we don't.
We don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So
we don't know for sure where this is at and what. I don't even know what depth. According to what I was reading, I can't even gather an actual depth of this. So I can't.
Now, where was this again?
This is Loch Ness. This is on Loch Ness. This picture is out of Loch Ness. And I thought it was a sonar, but from what I understand, it's an actual picture from an underwater submersible. One that they were unmanned submersible in 1975.
Gotcha.
So
that's the way I understood it. That's everything I've read.
So that tells me why the picture is looking the way it is. Okay.
Exactly. It's film. It's not, as far as I know, it is not a sonar at all.
I mean, I'm not saying it's. I just don't. I don't think there's enough there to make a call.
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
It's enough there to fuel more speculation, is what it is.
Oh, definitely.
So, I mean, and this has always been one of my favorites whenever I've watched any of the stuff on Loch Ness. This has always been one of my favorites because there is no fighting yes or no on it. You can't prove it as being a hoax, and you can't prove it as not being a misidentification. That being said, he also had another one on that particular day, and shall we say, that particular day, let's say he caught some other stuff. This one is not exactly what I would call the greatest in the world, but they said this looks like a gargoyle head. That's exact words. Thought he caught a gargoyle head that he thought might have been the Loch Ness monster. Now this to me is either wood or silt. You can see the cloudiness down here. That's silt.
It looks like silt to me.
Yeah, maybe a rock structure.
That's what I was thinking as well. I can't debunk it, obviously. I can't say yes or no because, once again, we're same boat. But yeah, you see this down here. That's silt being kicked up.
Yeah.
Down here. So did he have to catch a rock that was falling under the water at the time? Underwater rock slide of some sort?
Well, that's possible too. But do we have? Yeah. I mean, are they on the bottom? Obviously, they're on the bottom.
That's what I would thought. But so you're talking probably 600-700 feet deep if we're talking that.
The silt. Well, they're kicking up silt. They're on the bottom.
Yeah, they got to be, or they're on an incline.
So to me, I mean, it could be silt being kicked up by the ROV itself.
Yeah, and we just don't know. I mean, this is all that came out of it was this and that other picture. Because as I look at it closer, I mean, you can look at it here, and it looks almost like I'm dating myself. Of course, I just went and saw the Godzilla movie yesterday morning too, Godzilla Kong movie, and I'm sitting here looking at it. And I'm immediately thinking, anybody that watched any of the old Toho stuff, not the Godzilla side, but there was also the Gamera movies, the giant space turtle,
Right.
Kind of looks like his face, if you want to get right down to it. It looks like, you got a little open mouth here, but if that's the case, what's this right here? It's almost like there's a structure right here. You know what I'm saying? Let me zoom in and see if you can see that any more than I can. See that little?
Oh, yeah, it looks like
Masonic symbol.
Well, I don't know, some kind of GIF or grit or whatever it's called.
Randy, is there any way to rotate the picture?
Let me see if I can do that. I don't know if I can or can't. Yeah, I think I can. Hang on, give me a second. Which
Yeah,
way
you
do you want to
can.
go with it? Like right there?
Truth Walker asked. So yeah, let's try it this way. Let's see.
Okay. How about that? Scrunched up, sharp A face. I like that, Glenn.
See now, zoom in on that.
Okay.
Okay.
That
Now
looks like
see
structure's on the bottom now.
exactly with silt being kicked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you really want to go back, scroll back down.
Okay.
Okay, go over. Move your mouse over to the left of the picture, right there.
Yep.
That looks like a human face.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. It sure does.
So are we dealing with maybe pareidolia?
Very well
That
could be.
was kind of my point.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even see the face till you brought that up. But yeah, you're right. I mean, because I mean, the way they present the picture, obviously the way we looked at it.
Right.
Let's see. Let me bring it back where it was. That's the way they present it, and
Right.
obviously, if you're that deep in Loch Ness, there's not going to be any light. This light has to be coming from the ROV.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's not going to be any light down there. So, are we sure the orientation of the ROV is right? And if it is, maybe it's just something that it kicked it up as it went along and ran into this thing. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
We don't even know the true size of it. You know what I mean?
No.
Exactly.
If there had been
And that's the
some sort of
biggest
scale,
problem with that's the biggest problem we have with a lot of these pictures. Most of them, there's nothing. They don't give you any scale. They don't, or nothing. And they don't. You don't know. That's like you said. We don't know if we're rotating in the right direction or
yeah,
what. Or they rotated it and go, oh, it looks like this here, just like we did when we rotated it
yeah,
and said, oh, there's a human face.
yeah. And
So
like I said, there's just I never really took much stock in this photo, and I've seen it many times, but I never really took a whole lot of stock in it because this one just seemed too out of place. You know what I mean? It had to been
right,
something caught erroneously, and we're just throwing it out there because we caught the other picture. We want to make sure, hey, this is the other oddball thing we caught. We don't know what it is.
right,
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's been several along the lines that expedition that he caught these two on. They tried to debunk them and they can't debunk them. There's
Mm-hmm.
been let's see, my write up I was working on with the stuff. We're talking about they say both pictures merely could be silt or wood debris, which we obviously said are quite possible,
right.
and especially the photo of the head, which could just be a dead log at the bottom of the lock.
Yep.
Well, I would not say a dead log per se, but I would say definitely not live, whatever it is.
I
Rock
would have to have
structure.
video. I would have to have
Yeah,
video for sure.
I would wanted to have video too on that one. So, but you know, this guy's been there a couple of times. So he was also there in 1972 as well. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? He got some other pictures. And these are a little bit, how can I put it? A little bit better off, I guess. These are more of a standard, but I'm pretty sure that people have been trying to debunk them for the last 30 years or 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the infamous flipper pick. This is supposedly a picture of a flipper.
Right.
Now, you remember when this one came out, right, Tex?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember because everybody at that time, we were all, the surgeon's picture was the know all be all, as far as what
Oh
Loch
yeah.
Ness went, and then in the guy in the 50s that was trying to break the world speed record on water, and something caused a massive wake in front of him, and he literally destroyed his boat. He just disintegrated. He was killed instantly. They still don't know what caused that. They attribute it to some large animal.
Right.
So between those and now then this comes out, and I remember coming out. I was like, man, it's kind of a stretch, but with the technology of the time, 1972, this is the best you're going to get in that silty water.
Right.
Well,
other than
and
still on.
you got to think that with these pictures, I mean, a lot of them we talk about. Could it be AI? Could it be this? Could it be the Photoshop? Could it be this? Well, we know at this time this is not in play. So
But it was the early stages of
it
computers,
looks
though.
like a flipper to me.
You could see the line that a flipper would have down the center of its,
Yeah, yeah. I
the
mean, you
bony
can see it,
metatarsal, or whatever you call it.
but
Metatarsal. Yeah.
but is it Nessie?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
we what it was just a spine of a sturgeon going by.
Yeah.
I mean, because a sturgeon, you've seen their backs,
Yeah.
easily mistaken for a flipper.
Oh, absolutely.
But see, and with that one, we see all the little spots right here, and this is all coming off of that camera, and this is all the silt that's been kicked up and all the floating debris in that water. But then we still have an area at that time where they actually did work on enhancing photos. And they did that with this one. That's the same picture enhanced with computers in 1972.
Well, that's a lot. That is a long way from that first picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there was a big thing at one time. Glenn's got it right. Just so y'all know, Glenn's got it right. It's a Ningen. Okay, that's a Ningen.
Ninja.
Ninja.
Ninja. But I remember when they started talking about, oh well, they've enhanced it. This was a big thing for several years, if I remember right, with this, because they couldn't figure out how did we miss this in the first picture. You could see the part, with the little spiny, centerpiece or whatever here of the fin, long, call it the middle finger if you want to call it that, whatever the case might be. The bone that was in there. And later on they came back and they said, wait a second, we think that the computer added a little bit too much. The computer might have made an error when it pulled out this amount of silt and that amount of silt. So then you're right back where you started. Is it or isn't it?
Right.
Huh.
It still looks like a flipper to me.
Well, there it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Even where the flipper joins the body per se.
Yeah.
The muscular and some structures.
Yeah, you talking about right down here.
On point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that looks like if you were to look at I'm trying to think of what a manatee nowadays. Manatees obviously got a little bit of a finger type flanges on them, you know what I mean? But it's still got that same basic. Oh no, not even close. But I'm saying, but it's still got that same style flipper, other than the little almost look like fingers at the end,
Right.
If you look at it, it's got that little ridge down through it where all the muscle goes around, and it's just like does that. I'm trying to think of walruses, I would say too, but they're obviously a big difference in flippers there because it's a hinged one.
Well, it flares out and comes to a point.
Yeah.
It looks like the flippers you see on the skeletal remains of the fossils of the plesiosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
yes, it does.
Did that gentleman even know what a plesiosaur was at that point? I don't know.
Well,
I would assume he did.
I'm still going with that. This picture is a long way from the first one we saw. I mean,
oh yeah,
this looks like it could have been made to look this way. I'm sorry,
and that's exactly what people brought up about that computer enhancement they were using. Y'all had an idea of what you wanted it to look like, and maybe you told the computer what to make it look like.
Right. Right.
So, It's still controversial to this day. I mean, I love me some Nessie stuff. Don't get me wrong.
It's
Nessie
kind of
stuff.
like, how did they take the picture,
Yeah,
and why did we just get a flipper?
yeah, and these photos. I mean, they say the show approved. Same guy, Robert Rhines, in his expedition caught them in '72, but they were later enhanced, retouched with computers into the image that we're seeing right now.
Right.
But the original photo was taken in '72, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
like I
say
said.
when they actually did that. So
Yeah,
okay,
like I said, I don't
that
know how
jumped
they
on me.
took
I
the
didn't want to.
picture, but why don't we
Yeah,
have more? Why are we just getting a flipper? Because at that time, they, he had to have been down there with it.
Well, it's like
Had to.
somebody says they live with Bigfoot. Where's your selfies? So
exactly, exactly.
Right.
I'm all about that. I mean, but it's one of those things that here I'm gonna bring this one back up so you can look at it again. Now we saw them. I don't know how you go from this, even with the computer softwares we have now. I don't know how you go from this to what we saw.
I don't either.
I don't know. See, they look like two different pictures.
Yeah, the only thing that's familiar that's even the same is this line here.
I mean, this picture could very well be a freaking constellation. As far as
Right.
this
That's
picture
what
On,
I'm
goes.
on a
saying.
cloudy night, right? Like,
Yeah.
it could be
And
anything.
once again, we said it before on here. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you can enhance all day long, but it ain't gonna be right. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right,
I'm just gonna let that one pass because there's not enough information to say
no,
anything of what exactly it is. We know
Yeah.
the picture is real, we just don't know of what,
yeah, which is much like what we saw in the other two, which is what we're always
right?
gonna see on Etsy all the way around. It's all gonna be subject to interpretation.
Right.
So
Right.
Hey,
yeah,
folks,
that's me
I
and
got a
my
bail, so I'm
Okay.
sorry, but I'll catch y'all later.
All
bye,
right.
honey.
Bye. Bye, honey.
I always love it when he jumps on.
But yeah, like
Okay.
I said, it's of something, and we
Yep.
know the pictures are real, but there's just not enough to show what it exactly is. And like I said, if it is video or something like that, why is there not more? Why do we only have a
Exactly.
flipper?
And
Yeah.
we've sat here and even talk. You talked with King Gerhard. You've heard him talk about the massive sonar, sweeps that they've done in Loch Ness to try and figure out what's really going on. To the point that I think they've dang near mapped the entire floor of Loch Ness. But there's still spots and there could be caves and it could be this and it could be that or whatever. I'm like, it
Mhm.
just as much as I want to believe in Loch Ness, and it really, it's one of my, like I said, it's one of my favorite things in the world to even look into.
Right. Well,
But even I, yeah,
well, it's funny we're talking about this tonight. Just a couple hours ago, I posted in our Blondes and Booze page. It's a cryptozoology fact, and it
yeah,
says there's a popular myth that's stating that Jacques Cousteau, state of the art man in his time,
I give you
state of the
guesses
art,
where I got these photos from.
right,
Same board. I love that
right,
little girl.
right. So Jacques Cousteau evidently went to Lake Tahoe, and he decided that he was going to the bottom of Lake Tahoe to, discover what was down there because nothing had been
Yeah,
down there. Um,
yeah,
he, they say that he didn't bring back any documentation, but I think he didn't release any documentation of what he found down there because, they've got Tahoe Tessie that's supposed to be down there.
yep, yep.
There's all this other kind of stuff that is supposed to be down there. And he just said the world isn't ready for what's down there. So did he actually see
What the heck,
something?
Jock? What the
I
heck? Come on
know.
now.
I
I
know,
would have
and
never
he
bet
he
he
was
would have
the
done
man
something
of the
like that.
water at that time.
You
He
ain't
was the
just
man.
kidding.
And his documentation and his footage was state of the art at the time. we weren't getting these pictures that we have no idea what's happening. I mean, he actually showed us what he was doing.
Yeah, and what he
That's why it's
captured.
really hard for me to just look at still pics and try to make, a decision on those.
Yeah, Glenn's was the UFO base down there. I mean,
Who knows? Who knows? But
Abby
he
said the
wouldn't,
same thing. A lot of dead
you know
bodies.
darn well he got footage down there. He got video
Oh yeah,
footage.
and
But
probably being in
he,
Tahoe, somebody said, "Yeah, dude, you're not bringing that to the surface."
yeah, yeah, yeah. And could have that have been the powers that be that said, no, you're not releasing any
Yeah,
of that.
I,
You're on American
i.e.,
soil. It ain't happening.
or on my family soil, on my
Right,
family soil.
right.
Because when you
So
talk about Lake Tahoe, that was kind of run by somebody,
I know.
back in the day.
Right. Did he?
I,
Yeah. It was a dumping ground for sure.
yeah,
It sure was.
and we
You
probably
know.
don't want to see that. So, but
No. But I
now
mean,
remember
did he?
last week, did he?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, I could do a whole show on nothing but Jacques Cousteau stuff. I absolutely love that man.
I know.
Every week we stopped. If Jacques Cousteau was on PBS at the time, it wasn't no National Geographic channel. You
Hmm.
had to tune in to PBS and watch it there.
Yeah.
And every time he came on, everything stopped.
Yeah.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom on Saturday, everything stopped. We were all
Right.
watching whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, Jacques Cousteau was one of my favorites because he just said it like it was. You know,
exactly. He
it,
didn't mince words.
right. So when I read this today, I was like, that's not like him.
Yeah.
That's not like him at all because he'll tell you
No.
everything. He'll be like, "Oh, I found trash down here, or I found this, or whatever." But
Yeah.
I've never got to the point or seen anything that he said that he wouldn't show.
Yeah. Exactly. I've never even heard of anything that he wouldn't show.
Right. Hmm.
Okay.
Makes you wonder. Just putting that
Mm.
out there so y'all can think about it.
Don't worry, everybody. We're going after Amelia Earhart probably in a couple of weeks too.
Right. Right. Because
Okay.
we're Jacques Cousteau fans, so we're not believing that.
No. Well, last week we talked a little bit about the thylacines. Remember?
Yes.
I actually found, and this was on the same girl's place, Cryptozoology Facts. A man named Peter Graves in January of 19 caught this in Australia, a trail in Clifton Springs, Australia.
What year?
Didn't seem to be. This is in 2019.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but if I'm looking at that and just not knowing anything about the terrain or the sizing of those plants and stuff, I'm still looking at that and thinking that's a Tasmanian tiger. Look at the tail.
That's what I'm thinking because you can't the stripes would still be visible
Yeah,
and you can't see
and
them,
you see, well, you can see the stripes on the tail there,
but you
but I
can't see it
can't
on the
see it up
side.
here. No,
No.
because of this, I'm guessing the shadows. Because you see how the face is kind of in the sun, but I couldn't find any others of this. And I'm like, why was there only one picture? Why am I only seeing one picture? And
Why do we
it
not
said,
have video? Why do we
yeah,
not have video?
in 2019, you would have thought for sure he would have had video because according to what was stated, Groves, he said the animal did not seem wary of him at all, and they stared at each other for about 5 minutes. Some believe it looks like a mangy canine or a fox. That don't
So
look like
you
no
can't you
fox to
can't
me.
tell me you couldn't get your phone out and video.
Yeah, I'm assuming if you were able to take this picture now, this is once again, this is a quick search and this is a quick pull. I will look and see if there is a video out. If he was able to get a video on it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Pull that
now,
in closer. Can you zoom in on that?
yeah, oh yeah. I'm sorry, that's
No.
not a fox. That's not a fox. It's the face is wrong. It is a canine, obviously, but that tail, look how long it is.
Yeah.
And everybody remember the pictures of the
That's
of
too
the
long.
thylacines from before, right?
Yeah,
I
they have the
mean,
shorter tail.
no, thylacines had the long tail. It was
Oh,
those.
I meant
Yeah,
that was the other one.
that was the wolf, the Japanese wolf.
That was that right. So
Yeah,
that is a long tail. That's super long.
yeah. So I can't see it enough, obviously, on here, but it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to have some striping right there.
Yeah, but
But
with the
the
other
way he,
pictures that you had,
mm-hmm.
there was
Let me see.
you could definitely see the stripes. There was no guessing.
No, not in the least. So, but they were also in captivity too. Let's see if I can find one of them and bring it up for you real quick. Because the ones I
Yeah.
had of the live thylacines, let me bring that right there. Oh, wrong one. I'm
Well,
working on
Abby,
it
you may
still.
be right. She says the one with the stripes, they've been unseen for a long time. But as we discussed on the last show, there's a lot of animals that are reappearing that they
Yeah.
thought were actually extinct. I don't
Well,
know the
I don't get
reasoning
to save
for
the
it,
picture of it.
because as they're losing habitat, I don't know how they're reappearing. That's my thing.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is they
They're just
they
run out of room to hide.
well, yeah, they retreated so far into the bush and stuff that nobody could find them, and so they assumed they were extinct because nobody could find them other than the native people that ain't gonna tell you one way or the other anyway.
Uh-huh.
And now that there isn't enough room for them, and they've got to come out so they can feed and eat and raise their young.
Yeah. I mean, we're hooked on the stripes, but we got to remember they could have
Like like you said,
crossbred.
adapted.
They could have
Moose.
crossbred with something
Yep.
else.
Yep.
They could have done all kinds of stuff. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, and like I said, that looks. I mean, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck. We don't know for sure because we didn't see it walk. But like I said, I'm going to look some more and see if I can find actual video that he did, because I find it hard to believe that you sat there and it was eye to eye with this thing for 5 minutes just looking at each other, and you didn't decide to start, taking a video of some sort.
Oh
Because
yeah, because after I would have gotten over the first initial whoa, then I would have said,
yeah,
let me video this if I can.
yeah. I mean, you were able to get that picture right there. You should have been able to run some video.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so, like I said, I'll do some research, see if I can find it, because it,
Yeah,
that's that has the hallmarks and the earmarks, if you look at it, of those thylacines from the early 1900s that we had the pictures of, the ones in
yeah.
captivity.
Except the coloring. But like I said, if this was in
Yeah.
2019,
Yep.
we're talking that they could have adapted more to their environment. They could have crossbred with something else.
Yep.
Who knows?
And like Bristol said, natural selection would have favored those with less striping for sure.
Right. Right. Like I said, it could have been just a genetic fluke in some that had survived, and
Yeah.
they just kept breeding, and it kind of like maybe bred a lot of the stripes out.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. And like I said, the tail's the giveaway for me. I'm with Moon on that. The tail is the giveaway for me.
Yeah.
That tail is thylacine through and through,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I'm thinking that's for real. I just don't know why
Yeah.
we don't have video.
Yep. And
If they
I'll find
if they
out.
could take it that long of a look,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a long time. That's an awfully, awfully long time.
Exactly. So I will find out and I will report back. Look out for a short later on if I find something, and then we'll do a whole show on it. So,
Okay. Okay.
all right.
All
So
right.
I'm
Well,
still saying truth though on that one.
I'm saying truth because like I said, genetics work wonders over time.
Yeah,
So
sure does. Sure does.
I'm thinking it's a yes.
Very much so. Now we get to have some fun.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Actually, no, I got one more serpent for you. I got one more sea serpent one for you before we do that.
Roger
This
asked,
one
could it
is,
be a dingo? Roger, that tail is super long. I wouldn't
yeah, it's too
classify
long
that
for
as
it to
a
be a
dingo
dingo.
tail.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
And to me, the head, he's right though. The head could be about right. Let me bring it back up again so we can look again because now you got me asking,
Right.
thinking
But
about
real
that.
quick,
So
I got to say something really quick. If my
yeah, go ahead.
mother, if you're watching right now, your granddaughter is calling, can you please call her because I'm on the show? Thanks.
We aim to please everybody. You need somebody to let
Right.
somebody. You
Can
need
you
some to
call
let
her?
somebody know something.
Because it keeps popping up. She's calling, and I'm like, "Well, I'm on a show. I can't answer the phone." She's probably annoyed, going, "Why isn't she answering the phone?"
Okay, now bringing it back up, like you said, could it be a dingo? I don't think the head's right. I'm kind of with Aggie on that one. I
I don't
don't
think
think the head's
tail's
right,
right.
and the tail I think is too long as well. I'm with you on that too.
Yeah.
And I don't know the size because dingoes aren't really big dogs to start with, if I'm not mistaken. They're not
No,
little, don't get me wrong, but they're not big either.
they're not
And
classified
they
as a
travel.
large
Don't they
dog.
travel in a pack? Do
Yeah.
dingoes travel in a pack?
Right.
If that's the case, everything I've heard of and read on the thylacines are mating pairs for life, and that's it. There is no pack involved in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's an oddball for the canine genre there, with the wolves and coyotes and everything like that. Everything has a pack. These are supposed to be. They call them. I know they call them Tasmanian tiger, but they're canine,
Right.
obviously.
Right. Right.
Why do they not go in packs?
And
Raboon. Good call there, Moon. Good call.
yeah. Yeah.
I I just think it's just looking at what I see right there. I don't think it's too big to be a dingo, but I think the head is just a little bit wrong to be a dingo. But I very well could be wrong. Now, let me.
Yeah.
I will go out and see if, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go out and look for a short later on because I'll go out and get a picture of a dingo and I'll put them together and let
Yeah.
y'all decide. Let y'all figure it
Yeah.
out from there. I'll zoom it in like it is right here, and I'll put a dingo next to it, and y'all can tell me because I just think the dingoes are the tails. I don't know, Glenn. Glenn said dingoes have curved tails, don't they? I don't know for sure. But
If
Roger's right. Could be a cross between the dingo and the thylacine.
and that's what I said. That's what I
Yep.
was talking about doing a crossbreed.
Yep.
And yeah.
Because until they said that, I didn't even think dingo until that's why I wanted to bring it back up and relook at it. But I just think there's too many things wrong with the body to be a dingo. So,
Right. Right.
so all right. So now moving back on, where was I?
But I'm gonna
We're
say
going.
I'm gonna say that's a real possibility.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, and that would have bred out those the stripes too.
Yep. Yep.
So
But
okay. Hey
I'm gonna
Rory, how
say
you doing?
that's the truth. That's my on that picture.
That's
I'm gonna
still
say
a
that's
truth.
truth.
I'm still saying truth as well.
Mhm.
All right. So this one I was about to bring up before I went on a sidetrack was taken by Richard Benson. He's operations manager at a local TV station. This is in he was on a fishing trip. And he was in this is the Manitoba Monster, Lake Manitoba. Manny
Uh oh,
Pogo. Sorry, Manny Pogo is what it's called. The monster
Manny
was about
Pogo.
300 yards from their boat when they originally saw it, and they moved closer before snapping this image. They claimed to have been able to watch the creature for 5 minutes before it moved along. Here's again. We're talking about they didn't give me any. I actually let me see. It might tell me on the picture itself. This is in 1962. Okay, you're not going to have a video camera on you in 1962. I
No,
already know that.
no,
You're going
no.
to take a picture and go with it, right?
Yeah.
They supposedly watched this thing, for 5 minutes before it moved on. I I don't know
Oh,
about that.
I don't either. That looks like
A
a
log
snake,
or
a
something.
log, a snake, and
Eh,
um.
I can't tell from that. I wish he'd have taken several in the series. Taken several pictures so you could see how it moved. From one place to another. And being a TV guy, you think he would have
You
known
would
to have done
know
that?
that.
Yeah. My biggest problem is with this. This is supposedly this Manitoba monster, Manny Pogo, whatever they want to call it, right? Why is there no wake? Is it just sitting there?
Because it's a log.
Yeah, it's either a log or a piece of hose or something, but it's not swimming,
No.
if you ask me.
And in the
And then you,
60s, I'm
yeah,
going to say it's a log.
yeah, it's that's my take on it. It's got to be a log. My problem is with, and this is supposedly, like I said, the original picture. It, I don't. It's 300 yards from them, supposedly. 300 yards is a long way. Or did I say
Yeah.
feet? Did I say feet
Yeah.
or yards? 300 yards. That's a long way away,
That's a
actually.
long way.
Didn't want that one yet. That's a long way away. I'm still at, why is it so cut off at the water? You know? Why is it so cut off at the water? Shouldn't there be something you should see wake where it enters the water? You see a little bit where the water kind of goes over the back right here. But it's still, unless Lake Manitoba is
Hey, Rory
a
said it's
darker
right.
lake.
It's a log monster.
I'm That's exactly what I'm leaning. I mean, I shouldn't spend a whole lot of time on this because, quite frankly, it just doesn't fit. Oh, you already beat me to it. You beat me to it early.
I can't help it, Randy. I just can't help it. That's a log.
No, it's a log or something, but it is not a monster. Not in the
No.
least. Is that okay? Moon, like it's an oil boom they put around boats when they're refueling in case of a spill. Yeah, could have got lost in the storm.
Well,
It very
that's
well could
back
have
in the
been.
60s.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could. And I'm like, just the more I looked at it, I was like, I don't know how they. This guy is in TV at the time.
He should know better. You take if you thought it was a monster, I would have wasted a whole roll on it. And if I had
You
more,
ain't
I'd
just
have taken
kidding.
more.
Yeah, I'd have
Mm-hmm.
redone. Especially if I'm sitting there for 5 minutes. I ain't just taking one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. So here's
And
the
if
other thing
you're
that you got.
right, and if I did take one, I would have put a better one out there. Because we
And
don't know how
yeah,
many he took. Maybe he did take a bunch, but there would have been a better one.
yeah. And again, he's an operation manager at a local TV station. Who
Yeah,
would
no,
have a way of doctoring a photo better than a local TV station?
no. This is tinfoil. This is all
All
tinfoil right
wrong.
here. Based on the information we have, based on this picture, um, that's a log. It's the Log Ness monster, Abby. Log Ness.
Log Ness, like it, like it.
Right.
Okay,
All right,
now
let's move on real quickly.
last one.
Last one.
Well, there's two of them, but it's easy. It's the St. Augustine monster,
Oh gosh.
most famous of all globsters. Okay,
The globster.
the globsters. Wrong one. I got to get the actual one. There we go. That's one of the first pictures of it. Everybody's heard this story. Everybody's seen this story. This thing washed up on the beach in St. Augustine, Florida. Okay. This is in 1896. A group of children found it. Said to could be see I'm not even taking my hat off, right? Uh, it's completely out of the sand to be able to be seen in its entirety. It was estimated to be 18 feet long and 7 feet tall, as well as weighed up to 5 tons. It was a mystery for nearly 100 years. 100 years, nobody knew what that was. 100 years. So 1996 is when this got uh, tore up. You know what I mean?
I'm putting this right in line with the videos they're coming out with beach to mermaids.
Yes, but this
That's
wasn't faked. Actually, I found out this was not faked. There was just a bad identification. And
yeah.
anybody that's ever been around, a seashore has probably seen this kind of stuff before. Because what it ends up being is the decaying blubber of a whale.
Yep. Truth
It
had it right.
literally,
Truth Walker had it right.
yep, sure did. Decomposing whale carcass, but my biggest issue was, why did it take 100 years to figure that out? Just because of DNA? Because parts of it were kept. They kept it. They took. I forget which one they took it to. I remember seeing it, but uh, they took it to a not a museum, Oceanic Institute of some sort, I think, and they kept it in
or
formaldehyde. And
what they
kept it.
called it at that time. Yeah, for what
Yeah,
little information they did have.
yeah. Because I remember the reason I remember seeing it on In Search Of. That's why I remember this to this day. From
And
the
even at
70s and
that
80s.
time, they should have known exactly what it was.
Yeah, somebody should have got a hold of it and said, "Okay, this is fatty material. We're pretty sure it's whale blend." Now, of course, they didn't have DNA at that time, but still, anybody that's ever been a whaler would have been able to recognize that. I bet.
Exactly my point. And if they took it to an oceanic center, they would have known exactly what that was.
Exactly. That's what I would have thought too.
Even
So,
at that time, they would have known.
definitely a decomposing whale. I mean, and the one before it. Let's see, did I leave it over there? The one before it I showed you. That one. That's where they were pulling it out of the sand. It was in
All right.
the sand.
Oh, so it has been there for, oh my
There's
gosh.
no telling how long it had been there.
Right.
So, I mean, look, the kids found it because they probably came up on a mound and started touching it. It's like, oh crap, this is nasty. And then brought some people. There's the horses back there helping to pull it out. There's the lift rails, so they could roll that thing out of there. And it
That's
probably
so,
started falling apart the minute they pulled it
yes. And
out.
it probably stunk to high heaven.
I wouldn't want to have been there. I'll tell you
No.
that right now. I would not have wanted to have been there for that one.
Woo. No.
But like I said, whoever it was that ended up taking that carcass, they tried to. I think they kept it in its entirety, and they put it in a giant vat of formaldehyde, so it has been preserved ever since. Bristol's right. Good thing they didn't dynamite it.
Right. Oh, yeah. No,
That'd been
that's,
funny.
yeah, no, that's a whale. That's,
Yeah,
oh,
that's a
and it's
whale.
been there for some time if they had to dig it out of the sand. So, ugh.
Exactly. So it's
Ugh.
It's been washed up for God knows how long. So
Right. Right.
yeah. But
Right.
yeah, that was probably my best. Let me see if I got anything left to throw at you real quick, but I don't think I do. Thylacine was my biggest. Thylacine was one when I saw that, I was like, oh golly, I can't believe I just found another thylacine, and it was from
And
newer, and it was a better picture.
that was a good picture. It really was.
Yeah.
It.
So I,
I'm leaning towards. Yeah.
yeah, that's and the other ones are all the Loch Ness obviously is pretty much inconclusive. We can't say one way or the other. We want to
No.
believe. We're pulling a Mulder here. We're like, we want to believe,
We want to believe, but
but we're not
you
going to
got to
throw
give us
caution to the
more.
wind. Yeah,
We need more. We
yep,
need more.
agreed. So,
Right. But I believe
all
it.
right, yeah, oh yeah, definitely, I believe that one for sure. So that comes off now.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
We've saved some brain cells, everyone.
Yes, if you were wearing your government issued tinfoil hat,
Yep.
you're screwed because the government don't ever give you anything that's going to work. You know that. Come on.
I ordered mine off Amazon. Don't forget to have it on tomorrow. Everybody, make sure you're wearing your hat tomorrow, your tinfoil hat.
No,
While
I'm
you're out
going
there
out there
looking.
I'm going out there looking like a little old chicken, from early on. Go out and look up. Is it raining? Have
It's
chicks.
raining.
You have to keep chicks inside something because they'll go outside and look up and drown themselves.
I know it. I know it. But just make
So,
sure everybody's safe tomorrow. I heard that a lot of roads are going to be bad, especially if you're in the path of totality.
yep.
So make sure you get where you're going early and stay there till well after it's over. And make sure you're wearing your glasses when you go out.
Y'all have fun. And if y'all have any crazy ones happening, let me know. Send me an email
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'll get it on.
Send us your stories. We'd love to have them.
Yep. And we're going to start looking at some actual locations to start doing here pretty soon, too. I'm starting to pick up some stuff on Gettysburg.
Okay. Okay. Sounds great. Then we can pick out locations and do a geographical show. That'll be awesome.
Exactly. So, all right, guys. Y'all have fun. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye, everybody.